Hello and welcome and Merry Christmas. So the holiday season is just a few days away, and this is our first time ever spending the holidays together. So we got married only a few months ago, and we want to talk about some of the similarities and differences between Christmases in America and Christmases in Nigeria. And so we're going to talk about kind of like what Christmas was like for me, what Christmas was like for you, and then we're going to talk about kind of what are some of the similarities and differences between the two countries. And then finally, we're going to talk about kind of like what we want to do as a family. Don't you agree? Going forward? Yeah.
We actually had this conversation like a few days ago, and I was like, okay, I think we should share this. It's quite interesting, you know. And also, this experience I'm going to share happened in my family. Before some Nigerians will say, this is not Christmas, this is not what Christmas for all Nigerians represent. I understand, but that was my experience, and
And same thing here. This is my family in America, what we did, but there are some similarities and differences, I think, between the two cultures. And so we can get started. So I'll talk a little bit about what Christmas was like for me. So number one, Santa was a big part. And so we all, especially when we're young, when we still believed in Santa, we would go to the mall and we would have an opportunity to like talk to Santa, tell him what we wanted. And we knew that was not the real Santa, but we knew the real Santa was in the North Pole and he was the messenger to that Santa. So he would tell him and bring him the information. And so we would tell him the presents we wanted, and then we would be sleeping and our parents would bring presents and put them under the tree. And then we'd wake up and be like, wow, Santa brought all these. But little did we know that Santa, somehow he always had the same handwriting as my mom. It was, to Chris from Santa. I was like, this is very suspicious. Something about that. Another big thing we would have is like a big feast on Christmas Day. So we have like our particular food, like turkey, mashed potatoes, different vegetables, things like this. Very similar to Thanksgiving food. Yeah. We'd have it. My family always, Thanksgiving was the bigger feast, but we would have a feast Christmas Day usually. And then Christmas Day was always like a day we'd spend at home. It was all like we would never go to church. It was just like at home with your family. And keep in mind, in America, Christmas is a very cold time, so you don't really want to like go out and be doing much. It's not like Nigeria where Christmas maybe is like the best time of year in terms of weather. Christmas is usually like the worst time.
We have just two weather, rain and dry season.
But it was not like a very religious thing. I mean, like it was. Sometimes we would go to Christmas, like we'd go to church the night before for like a holy night kind of thing. Christmas Eve, candlelight, reenactment of the birth of Jesus kind of thing. But for us, I always felt like Easter is when Jesus was born. So that's like the bigger religious holiday.
Easter is when Jesus died.
When Jesus died, of course. Christmas is when he was born, which is not as religiously significant. At least in my family, we never really went to church on Sunday, on
Christmas Day.
On Christmas Day, we never had extended family come over. That depends on the family. I lived away from my extended family. My family didn't live near our extended family, so it was kind of like just us together on Christmas Day. But one thing, decorations. We would go all out. Everyone in America goes all out. So you got to even see this now. Like, this is check this out. The lights turn on here. 1 second.
Father Christmas, Keresimesi.
Yeah, look at this. It does different settings. So, Christmas and decorations is always like, we go hard. Everyone decorates lights outside of their houses, all these things. And then finally, when it comes to things like gifts, we gave gifts. This always depends on family, but I felt like for my family, gifts were more of like something practical that you give. So we got a lot of clothes. And generally, like my family didn't like giving gifts that we knew you wouldn't want or use. So, and this was like maybe coming from my mom, but it was always like, you have to, most of the gifts I had even picked out. Like we had gone to the store and I was like, they were like, you need new pants because your pants are old. your pants have holes in them. You need to upgrade. So which pants do you want? This is your Christmas gift. So, I mean, it was, it wasn't like I was getting all these cool presents, but at the same time I was getting like good stuff, good gifts, things I need. So I always felt like for me, gift giving is always like something that should be something that you need or will use. I don't like to give people just like junk, that maybe is thoughtful. We did some like gag gifts. We would always give each other like maybe something cheap that was kind of funny, that we found just to, oh, you really like cats, so we'd get you a t-shirt with a cat on it, something like that, just for fun. But never like so much gifts that were big surprises.
So the gifting was not just from Santa. I mean, your parents.
Yeah, there were Santa gifts.
Then
but they were the same things I picked at the mall.
You guys exchange gifts amongst like.
Yeah, we'd give things. Yeah, give things to our parents. Give my sister something. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Interesting.
And especially in school, when we were young, they would have us make things for our parents too. So we would maybe we'd have a class where we'd learn how to make like a bowl. Out of clay, and we'll give that to them. But what about you? Tell me, okay, Christmas in Nigeria, what is that like?
Very interesting. I mean, so for me, Christmas in my house, because I know that Nigerians can drag. Anyways, I'm not scared of it dragging, but I'm just going to share my experience. So for me, Christmas was kind of different for me. From the things I can remember, I can remember Christmas in different ways. So while growing up, I think the age bracket of between maybe 5 to 10 or 5 to 12, Christmas was kind of more fun. In terms of when Christmas comes, my dad is going to take us out. Probably we'll go to like Tantalizers or then Sweet Sensation. Those were like the big restaurant, the big eateries. Then I was like raining then, and you see people go there on festive periods. I mean, Christmas days, New Year, you see, it is always packed. And something I can remember that was really fun for us as kids then was that most of these restaurants, they have the kids section. We call it mini amusement park. We have like slide, all those things, we get. So it's not something we do every day. So it's always very fascinating to see other kids and also play with other kids. Another thing I can remember for Christmas is that so we celebrate Christmas. We also celebrate Boxing Day. So
we don't have. I have no idea what Boxing Day is. Still, I know about it, but I was telling her 26th. We have to go to work. Like Americans, we're you get the 25th off.
We don't.
That's
go to work.
It. You go. Then you go back to work.
Yeah, of course. Boxing Day is holiday for us in Nigeria. Yeah. And then on Boxing Day, so my dad is a very influential person. He knows a lot of people. So even right from when we were kids. So I think what he does is on Christmas Day, he will take us out. And then on Boxing Day, we have to stay at home. That is when they get to host friends, extended family. Then my uncles, aunties, my nieces, cousins, everybody will be around. Everybody comes to our house, and it's always big. But when I was very young, in terms of when I was a kid, it was more interesting because we are always together with other kids, drinking and eating. That's all we do, drink and eat. And then our parents, everybody, the adults will be in the living room having conversations, gisting, whatever. We don't care. We're kids. We're just there to eat. But when we started growing up, it kind of changed for us. So now, Christmas Day, also when we were kids, so we go to church. So we go to church twice. We go to church Christmas Eve, and I think service starts around 10 for 2 hours.
We are asleep by then.
Into Christmas Day. So it's like...
You go home early.
So it's like, Merry Christmas in church. And I remember that my mom...
You stay till midnight, right? Yeah.
Yeah. We actually end the service...
The service ends at
We actually end the service
9.
Immediately. It is 12. And everybody says, oh, okay, it's Christmas Day. Jesus Christ has already been born. Merry Christmas. And my mom used to buy us what we call... I think we call it bangers. What do you call it?
Oh, fireworks.
Fireworks.
For us, it's cold in the U.S., so we would fireworks are not at this time. We don't go out.
It was always fun because every time, even right from church, we start. bangers, we call it bangers, so you know what I'm talking about. They have different types, and that also varies based on the prices. There's one that has one sound, there's another one with two sound, there's another one with three sound, and there's one, those first class one that you just hold, the one we call it rocket. And it's always like, those ones are like advanced for us. I personally am always scared of that, because I'm like, so my mom will buy us bangers, and then right from church we'll throw it just to, that sound is like, oh, Merry Christmas, everybody. And then we go back home. And guess what? The next morning we come back to church on Christmas morning for service. So yeah, we're not really so much of a fan of, waking up that early, coming back. So when we were younger, we used to stay in Isolo. And our church was in Mushin, so it was easier to drive. So when we moved to Ogun State, which is Songota, and our church is still in Mushin. So I think it is more religious for us, because my dad is a pastor. So my dad is the pastor of a church owned by my grandfather. So he's like an elder in charge. That's what we call him. So he has to be in church. So we grew up like pastors' children. So you know why. Probably other Nigerians don't go to church like we do. So when we moved to Ogun State, it's not easy for you to leave church, go back home, and then come back. So what we do is we just stay in church till the next morning.
The whole night, you sleep there?
Yeah, we sleep in church.
Wow.
And then...
Can you imagine on Christmas?
My dad has to be in church. And then the next morning, we do the morning service, Christmas morning service. And after the service, we go back home. You can imagine how exhausted we already are, And by this time, Christmas has already taken a different turn. There's no more taking us to Tantalizers to eat rice and chicken, because at this time, I guess I was already 14, 15. So I was already like my teenage years, approaching my adult year. And that goes for all my siblings. We're not kids anymore. So this was like, reality was already eating. And guess what we did on Christmas? So on Christmas Day, remember, we've been in church like since the day before, and then we get home, and I go to a white garment church. My church is Cherubim and Seraphim, so we have a uniform, which is the white garment. So our dress is different, it's white, and you cannot keep that white and say you wash later. You have to wash immediately you come back. So we come back from church, we're like washing, and while we are washing our clothes, we have to start getting ready for our guests. Like I said, my dad is very influential and he loves to host people. So Christmas for me was like a bittersweet experience. The bitter I mean is not bitter. I just mean sometimes I'm just like, oh, you're thinking about Christmas, you're supposed to be excited, right? But you're like, you're thinking about how you'll be in the kitchen cooking. And there was something there's this particular thing that used to annoy me. There's one of my dad's friends, if he's watching this, sorry, sir. This man, he does not eat meat. Do you know that? We cook main food for all our guests. We have to cook a small portion of soup for him, fish stew for this man. Do you know the stress we have to go through to cook something different for just one guest? And then you hear another guest will come and say, hey, I don't feel like eating rice today. And my mom will say, hey, can you go and make some? I'll be like, God, this Christmas, like, we should be having soft life. We should be experiencing soft life. So that really traumatized me a lot. And in terms of decoration, I think you also mentioned decoration. So, like I said, there are different stages of life. There was a stage of these guys are still kids. So I think for me, Christmas was more fun as a child, as a kid, than as a teenager. So when we were kids, my mom was going to buy all these Christmas lights. We didn't have the big Christmas tree. We didn't go hard for Christmas, basically.
We don't go hard for
Christmas decoration. Yeah. You all know there's this Zenith
these are my idea. I got her this. I got this.
Yeah.
This is all the American influence here.
Yeah. I was telling you something about Zenith Bank, the old thing they did in Victoria Island. That is big, that is like extraordinary.
That's like I've seen that. That's like basic. That's
basic
the minimum
but that you need. Huge for us because I mean, you won't just be walking in. Of course, I know some people have like light decorations, but for him as an American, you see different houses. it's all like everywhere is like there are lights everywhere. There's like Santa snow stuff and all that. Yeah, but Christmas for us, my mom got some Christmas lights that we're gonna have maybe in some areas in our living room, but it's just like basic, not something extraordinary. What else did you mention?
Well, you want to talk about some of the similarities and differences here?
Yeah, so I feel I also said we do host a lot. So who are the people we host? We host not just my dad's friends, like I said, my family members. So similarities. Christmas was also family oriented for us.
Yeah. Well, let's start with the first obvious one, Santa. What is Santa? So Santa's huge in the U.S. What is Santa like in Nigeria?
Santa? Is that a place, a person, or wait? They lied to them actually. Now you know it was all like Thank God nobody lied to me. So we never.
So did Santa come to Nigeria?
So I think there was someone we all knew. This was not because nobody gave us the old bullshit story about
he comes down Santa your chimney.
That is you know
about this in the North Pole.
No. We just know that there is somebody called Santa. We even as a kid we knew that it's just costume. We were exposed to that information that this is just costume. But it was quite interesting, to go to. We didn't do the whole. My dad didn't take us to go and meet Santa, sit on Santa lap. No.
Ask
we didn't do that.
Presents,
but I saw it around. So, but we didn't do that actually. So for us, in terms of gift, you also mentioned gifting.
Yeah.
So gifting for us was not as big as yours. We didn't have this whole gift package and then put it on the Christmas tree. I don't think we really had Christmas tree while growing up. No, just the lights to decorate the house. So for gifts, in terms of gifts, what my mom would do is my mom would take her measurement. There's a way she'll take broom and measure our foot to check our shoe size, and then I think she knows the size of our dresses, and she can shop for us, buy us new shoes and new clothes. I think that's the only thing we get as gifts: new clothes and new shoes. So you can wear that clothes and shoe on Christmas Day, because Christmas is a special day. So that was like what gift was to us then. So I think there are similarities, but the similarities may not be as intense. We're also family oriented because Christmas was a time for family to come together. My house was like the base, so that was why I felt it. We're cooking. We had to do Christmas Day was like chores day for. I think the only time we get to like enjoy the vibe as a teenager or as an adult, it's always in the evening when most of the guests have left and we just have the kids, and then the kids would come out and vibe.
For us, the food was. My mom kind of led the kitchen, but we would help. Everyone would help. Of course, like when I was too young, I didn't help. But as I got to a certain age, it was like, okay, you have to cut these onions. You have to check the turkey every 30 minutes, take it out, and we'd have to baste it. So you basically take the juices and put them on top. Do something like that.
And you guys were small, like you were just like.
It was a small family. It was just 5 of us in total.
Ours was like extended family.
Yeah.
We even rent canopy. Do you know what it means to rent canopy and tent? We have this musical it's like DJ setup. I'm not even joking. My two brothers will be in chat. Yeah, they'll be like playing music. Though we have big speakers that will put in our compound, and then they turn and everything, and then you have to cook for like. I'm talking about guests of like 30 or a little more than. 30.
I had a question. Okay, so what about Christmas movies? One big thing in the U.S. is watching Christmas movies as a family. So the night before, you watch like Home Alone, you watch Christmas Story, you watch The Grinch, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, all those shows. So did you watch shows like that?
So the only Christmas movie that I know is Home Alone, and I really don't remember, everyone coming together as a family to watch the movie. I feel we kind of saw the movie differently. I mean, at different times, and we really liked it. So it wasn't a movie. I know that movie, most people see it on Christmas Day, but I don't remember us sitting in front of the TV on Christmas Day as a family.
What about Christmas music? So like, for us in the U.S., there are like the religious Christian songs, but I feel like like the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and all these songs. I've noticed they've been playing Christmas songs around where we have been, and like some of them she doesn't know.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, like what was Christmas music for us? Like Christmas music, huge part. You know, you play even starting in November, you start playing Christmas music.
So for Christmas music, for me not to, remember it very much, I don't think it was a big deal.
Yeah.
But I think in schools, you have like events where, okay, you can, maybe drama department, you can come and act up.
And the parents come and watch you sing. Yeah,
and then maybe you're in a group and then you have to sing, Mary born child Jesus Christ was born and great, things like that. But it wasn't, music was not really, even in Nigeria right now, I'm sure you're not just driving on the street and then you're hearing Mary born child everywhere, So it's not
Whereas
really,
in the US it's like everywhere.
It's
everywhere.
not really. But I know it is not that, it is not, it does not exist, but it is not so pronounced as probably it is in your country. Okay,
so we've talked about some of the similarities and differences. What do we want to bring together into our family for Christmas?
I feel like we can each mention maybe one or two things.
Yeah.
What do you think is the first thing?
Well, I mean, I think is really important is the family time. So like for me, it's always like Christmas Day, you're with your family. I've had jobs where I had to work late Christmas Eve, especially like you're working retail or something. But it was like Christmas Day, nobody's working. Everybody's at home. You spend the whole day at home. Family time. Yeah. Like, and especially like your own family, not... We were never like entertaining and working and doing all this stuff. Like...
It's like I said, that really traumatized me a lot. That the fact that we had to do a lot of chores on Christmas Day, and then I don't want my kids to go through that. I don't want my kids to remember Christmas and they're like, no, we had to do this for uncle, we had to do this for auntie. I want them to remember it. I'm like, and my dad, we did this. I spent time with my family, things like that. Yeah, so family is really very important to me. So yeah, so one thing I would take from my background or from my experience, Christmas experience, is how although my home was like the base, but we were still able to do something to bring family together. So it means family is very important. And also I would like to take the fact that family is important to my own family. However, we have to do the things moderately. There's no, it's Christmas Day, so everybody, my house is an event center, come and party. No, there's nothing like that.
So one thing my mom's family would do is, and we didn't live near her parents, but she had a big family, and so the one time we went to Christmas there, they would have like a party on Christmas Eve, and they would open like family presents. So your aunt gives you a present, you'd open it there, your grandparents give you presents, but then Christmas Day, the next day, is like you're at your own home, you're doing your own
that
home
is
things.
Perfect. But however, maybe another family probably
might do it differently.
No, probably your sister or my sister, they can do the party the day before Christmas and invite us. Not us. Thank you. We don't want that response.
We'll just bring some food and help. What about the food? So I feel like Christmas, you got to have a turkey. You got to have a big turkey.
Of course, Christmas, you need to have jollof rice. What is Christmas?
We would never have jollof rice in our Christmas.
So, I mean, jollof rice is not really definition of Christmas. However, for Christmas for us is that you have different varieties of food. You have rice, you have swallow, So on Christmas Day, that is when we eat what they call efo elemimeje. They say, efo. Yeah. The one that has 7 lives. Means it is very rich. You see, and that is one thing I usually look forward to. Like, you eat the kind of efo and then you're like, my mom does not cook this efo normally, like at home. Those kind of
really good
very
stuff,
nice food, and then it's really very important. So it's, of course, jollof rice, because that's our national dish. So it has to be there. But we should have like other meals, geese dodo, turkey, chicken, all those things.
What about decorations?
So for I mean, I'm really
okay.
open to
I'm okay to
decoration,
decorations.
yeah.
My family, we had decorations, but I feel like there were other families that went way beyond.
I wouldn't
feel like
go
don't waste your
overboard,
money. Like,
you know,
yeah,
like
have some.
I saw a video
Yeah.
and the house was literally like, I'm like, these
Yeah, I don't know
people
if this is worth it.
spent
Yeah.
a lot of money. Like there were lights everywhere. There were different things in front of the house. Like they went real hard. So I feel we can meet in the middle because I didn't really grow up with a lot of decorations. He did. Even though his family were not like
We're not extreme, but compared to Nigeria,
but
we were
around
definitely extreme.
him, he saw different things, you know, extreme decoration and all that. Even around me in Nigeria, we didn't see. I'm sure back home now, my neighbors probably don't even have Christmas lights. Yeah, that's how the vibe is. So, but we can do something moderately nice so that we can give our kids, the family, the feel of Christmas. You know.
What about religion? I feel like for us, religion was not like a major focus. When we were young, we did that thing where you go to church on like the night Christmas Eve, and you see the play with the three wise men. You know all that, three wise men, Mary, Joseph, the baby, all that. But as we became adults, we never really did that, and we didn't go to church on Christmas Day. But yeah, I'm open. I feel like I'm open to the Christmas Eve thing, but maybe not the Christmas Day thing.
Yeah, I totally agree because I feel I used to actually when I became a teenager. When I was a kid, you know, we just follow our parents. We don't know. We get dragged to church. But when I started growing up and then I started understanding Christianity, religion, I was like, this does not make sense. You've gone to church the night before and then we're going to church the next morning. You know what they say in Yoruba? Yeah, I know now all of us kid Jesus, but you need to, even God does not want his kids to stress like that, you know, to go to that type of stress. So personally, I understand that the reason for this season is Jesus Christ. Let's not forget that. I know it's a season for us to celebrate, be with our family, but we also need to always remember that the reason we are celebrating Christmas is because Jesus was born. And Jesus is very significant for us because he died for our sins. So he gave us this freedom that we have right now. So we have to acknowledge that. So it's very important that our family, our kids get to understand this, you know, participate in the whole religious thing, but going to church Christmas Eve, Christmas, no, that won't happen. But you know, sometimes they have events. I feel like these things help them to, they may not understand it at that time, but it is in their subconscious mind that, oh, we used to have this tradition, oh, Jesus was born, oh, Mary, yeah. So that helps to, you know, put that in their subconscious mind. So when they now finally get to know Christ for who Christ is, they can add one or two things on. And oh, so this is what they were trying to tell me when I was very young. But that we'll now be going to church on Christmas morning. We'll worship in our house. When we wake up in the morning, we'll gather together and thank God for giving us Jesus Christ to die for us. We don't have to go to church.
And it's cold. We won't want to be going out.
Maybe because of the weather. Like, maybe that's why my dad
and
was
lots of times it snows and you can't even, you know, it's like, I don't want to go to church.
I'm sure if my dad was to be in the US and it's no, I'm sure
he would say we can't go.
Okay, let's start service in the house. So like you see, different atmosphere, different society, different environment, different weather, different experiences. So anything could have influenced the decisions of my parents. So my parents, I'm not blaming them for anything. If not, I mean, I still have beautiful memories. Like I said, Christmas was more fun when I was a kid. But when responsibility started kicking in, you know, Africa now, you wash plates, you go cook, you go wash. Sometimes we don't have our baths until evening on Christmas Day, because we're just coming from church and you are going straight to washing, because you have to wash your church clothes. And then after that, they'll say, oh yeah, oh, come and cook this for you. Oh yeah, come and this. Oh yeah, come and oh yeah, yeah, but
we won't make our kids work like that.
We wouldn't.
They'll have to do some work. Yeah. No slacking. But
with an African mom, then they whine, they will work.
Thank you so much for watching. You know, Merry Christmas to you and your family. And we hope you have learned a little bit more about the differences between Christmas in the U.S., Christmas in Nigeria. Of course, we're not in the U.S. right now. We're still waiting on Nike's visa, unfortunately. We're actually in Nicaragua, which is a country in Central America. And so it's nice because we're able to meet here and spend time together for Christmas. We're going to, Christmas is next week, so we have the weekend coming up.
This weekend, actually.
This weekend is the first weekend before. So
Christmas.
This weekend we're traveling to Costa Rica, and we're going to be staying in Tamarindo. And that's where my dad and my sister are coming down, and they're going to be spending Christmas with us so we can all be together. It's our first Christmas together. We're so excited. First Christmas also, Nike, with my family. And so we're excited to spend time together and just thankful that we can do it in like a third country. We don't, you know, because traveling, I mean, the funny thing is I've never been to Nigeria for Christmas, and I don't want to go, and it's not because of anything about Nigeria. It's just everyone goes that time, and everything's expensive. Like, the flights are so expensive.
I just go by IJG.
I would rather I avoid Nigeria for Christmas. We'll go when things are quieter. But you know, it's nice to be able to like have a place we can go, you know, and spend that Christmas together and relax and be together and be on the beach and all of that. So we're looking forward to it. But thank you for watching, and please subscribe. And if you liked this video, if you liked us talking about differences between Nigerian and American culture, let us know. We'll make more. So we really appreciate you watching.
Also, share what Christmas was like to you while growing up. We'd really like to read, you know, different Christmas experiences from you guys. We love you. Thank you for watching.
Bye.